Story 1. This one is more about medication. Antibiotics only work against bacteria. They are not some kind of wonder potion that cures anything, and they should not always be given. Please stick to the prescription the doctor gives you. Even if you already feel better, don't just stop unless the doctor says you can. A lot of medication needs to be taken according to the prescription in order for it to be effective, because you build up the dose to an effective level. Stopping or not sticking to it really decreases effectiveness. Story 2. Tell us what drugs and alcohol you are on. We are not going to tell the police. We are not going to lecture you. But it might change the anesthesia I give you. Some stuff I give you might kill you. If you drink a 30-pack a day, tell me. Story 3. Ejaculating blood happens to most people at least once in their lives, and in 99% of cases, it resolves without taking any action within a week. It doesn't even warrant a doctor visit. Urinating blood, for both sexes, is a serious medical emergency, and you should immediately go to the emergency room. People think it's the other way around. Story 4. How to eat healthy. Just because you are skinny does not mean you are healthy, especially the teenagers whom I take care of. Sometimes I will ask them, "What is a healthy food your doctor wants you to eat?" Rarely do I get a correct answer. I feel like the internet has so many fad diets and family members rarely cook, so families do not know basic nutrition facts. Story 5. That there is a wide range of normal. Don't be embarrassed by your body. Having said that, if you are concerned about anything, ask your doctor. We have generally heard it all before, and trust me, we have nearly always seen it all before. Maybe you have something that has been bothering you for ages, but you were too scared or embarrassed to ask about it. Just ask. It might be nothing, and you have been stressing about it for no reason. And if not, then you are at least one step closer to getting it fixed. No one can help if they don't know. There are no stupid questions, so ask away. I'm always amazed when I have been asked about something that has been bothering a patient for years and years, but they were too embarrassed or scared to bring it up. Most of the time, it is nothing or a completely normal body function or feature. Other times, it is something that should have been discussed right away. You know your body best, so speak up. Don't wait for the doctor to ask the right question. Story 6. Some people seem to think that if you act healthy for a bit, it will make up for being unhealthy. There are many things wrong with this. Just one example: antioxidants are like fuel for your car. You can store up a certain amount of vitamins, but your tank can only hold so much. If you binge and overfill your tank, it does not do anything, you excrete it as waste. And you cannot expect to go the next several months without fuel just because you tried to overload it before. You are still going to need to get fuel. The same goes for your fruits and vegetables. Someone told me he went vegetarian for a few weeks, which meant he was done for the year. He was dead serious. I had a patient at risk for heart failure try to insist that if she stayed away from salt entirely for certain days or weeks, she should be able to have her fill of McDonald's fries and ramen. A smoker argued that if he stopped for some time, he should be able to smoke freely for a while. With some digging, stopping turned out to mean a couple fewer cigarettes a day. Story 7. I think there are a lot of obvious ones, like how lifestyle choices in your 20s impact your health and quality of life in your 40s. It would help if more patients knew their family history, though not everyone has this opportunity, unfortunately. Prevention is becoming more and more important in medicine, and treating a disease in its early stages is a lot better than catching it late. If you have family members who had ovarian or colon cancer in their 30s, that is very significant for your own risk. The screening and tests we run might change, depending. If you want to start the pill, it's important to know about breast cancer, deep vein thrombosis, clotting disorders in the family. If you're a bit overweight and have no metabolic syndrome problems in the family, compared to a bit overweight but both your parents have type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease, the management priorities change. Asking your family about any recurring diseases or diseases that occurred early, in their 20s, 30s, maybe 40s, can be helpful. There are certain common conditions that are underdiagnosed but easily fixed. Even if you have non-specific symptoms, it doesn't hurt to tell your doctor during the next visit. About 5% of US adults have an iron deficiency, which can cause loss of concentration and fatigue, and a huge amount are vitamin D deficient. When I am able to complete a systems review, which is asking screening questions about every different body system, I end up discovering a lot of irritable bowel syndrome, hypothyroidism, insomnia, joint pain, headaches, and other issues that impact quality of life. But people don't bring it up because they don't want to be a bother or think the symptoms are too vague. It's not a bother, and often, but not always, these conditions have simple treatments which can really improve how you feel. Story 8. My phone is acting up, so if this has already been posted, I apologize, but women, please do not use soap or douching products inside your vagina. It has a delicate pH balance, and this is how you get yeast infections. Wash your labia, but do not clean internally. The vagina is self-cleaning, just like your eyes. Do you wash your eyes? No. Do you wash your face? Yes. Story 9. Do not do do-it-yourself surgery or hold off on reporting things that are obvious warning signs. Do not be the person who tried to remove their skin cancer with a knife. Story 10. Your kidneys and liver efficiently do all the toxin elimination you'll ever need. Cleanses and other detoxifying products are ineffective and a waste of money. The people who sell them are individuals who only care about your money becoming theirs. Story 11. Type 2 diabetes is more serious than most people realize. I work as a doctor in hemodialysis, and most cases are due to diabetic nephropathy. It also affects your eyes, nerves, immune system, and more. Simple life changes can help you, but no one seems to care. I even lost 9 kilograms myself because I had a family history of diabetes and wanted to be healthy. Thank you for the support. I didn't expect this comment to reach many, but please take care of yourselves because it is really sad for us doctors to see people get ill because of a preventable illness. There are also many good communities for people trying to make a lifestyle change. You and your body deserve better. Story 12. How to check for skin cancer. If you see any moles or anything that are asymmetrical, odd borders like they are jagged or something, color, different colors, diameter, grows, evolves, go get it checked out. It might be skin cancer. Story 13. There is no cure for cancer as it is traditionally thought about. Cancer is a class of many very different diseases, each with very specific causes, such as some molecule that went wrong allowing a cell to multiply out of control. Even within the same type of cancer, like lung cancer, there are many types such as small cell, large cell, and squamous cell. Even within the same subtype of cancer, there can be different molecular mechanisms that caused it, requiring different approaches to treatment. Looking for the cure for cancer is like looking for the cure for disease. Story 14. Where the orifice each gender urinates through really is. Antibiotics are not a magic cure for every pain in your body, nor for the flu or common cold. Never boil breast milk. In my country, there is a popular belief that breast milk jaundice in newborns can be treated by boiling breast milk, but this destroys all the nutrients and reduces it to the nutritional value of water. Do not give honey to children below the age of 1. Do not rub your child with rubbing alcohol to lower their fever. Baby wipes do not substitute for daily baths or showers. Yes, I am a pediatrician. Story 15. Many simpler diseases in the body can be compared to a car. When you do not get regular checkups and take regular care, it is not like you will notice something bad happening right away, just like how you will not notice a missed oil change a couple of thousand miles later. But diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and alcohol dependence all sneak up on you, just like how eventually that engine will not run as smoothly. The second thing is that your body is not like a TV remote, where you pop out the old batteries and put in some new ones. You cannot expect to come into a hospital and walk out feeling 100%. People have some unrealistic expectations of what doctors can do, and there is research demonstrating how television shows provide the public with these false beliefs. I am a Grey's fan also, but it is not real medicine. The first-line treatment for most of our common diseases is, wait for it, lifestyle modification. It is not drugs. It is not surgery. 50% of newly diagnosed type 2 diabetics do not require anything more than diet and exercise. Cessation of smoking is the second best thing you can do for your health, and every little amount you decrease smoking has a profound impact. Again, you will not see it now, but you will see it down the road like the oil change. And if you do need medication, like how most will eventually need medication for their blood pressure, do not play around with it. Take it every day. Hypertension is called the silent killer. You cannot really feel your blood pressure, but it is slowly damaging every artery and organ in your body. And that comes down to the last point. Exercising is the key to a better life. If you put in the work, there is no upper limit. That is not an exaggeration, but the findings of a landmark paper that made news everywhere last October. Not exercising is worse than smoking, diabetes, or coronary artery disease. It is the single best thing you can do for a healthier life. Your health is a shared responsibility, and we are here to help. This may not be the flashiest comment, but this one may actually save your life. Edit. I am getting a lot of great questions on what are good exercises and how long you should be exercising. This is probably the single most asked question I get from my parents' friends and random strangers. Unfortunately, it is a bit complicated. I could go on quoting tons of papers from a variety of sources, but that would be difficult to parse through. An exercise regimen should ideally be set by a medical professional specifically for you. It may vary based on your age, occupation, underlying health conditions, fitness goals, and so on. I could not give a 60-year-old with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease the same instructions as a 25-year-old. I do not want to say something in a comment that would end up hurting you or your loved one, so I will not go into specifics. The generic advice we give to our older patients is to walk at a brisk pace, enough for a mild sweat. There is some evidence to show that even normal walking can significantly help improve your cardiac health. I am only focusing on cardiovascular health here, and there are other things to consider with exercise. I do not want to sound annoying, but I really feel it is best to talk to your doctor about what else you can do to improve your health. We would be glad to walk you through a plan made specifically for you. Also, regarding the number of steps per day, the 10,000 steps number is unscientific and largely propagated by the pedometer-making industry. First, it should be age-adjusted. It also does not directly correlate with losing weight. However, personally, as someone approaching 30, I do like 10,000. It is a nice, clean number, and I can make a game out of it for myself. It is important to note that this is not for everyone. Story 16. This is going to sound really basic, but I wish my patients would know what medications they are on when they come to the hospital. At least once a day, someone comes in who says, "Yeah, I take 8 pills in the morning, 3 in the evening, and 4 at lunch, but don't ask me which." You're a doctor. You should know. I beg of you, before going to a doctor that has never seen you before, write your medications, doses, and all on a piece of paper. Just to clarify, I work in Germany on the internal medicine ward. I can only see patients' records if they were in my hospital or the neighboring hospital. Otherwise, I have to call their family doctor, who may or may not be available at all times. I mostly just send a family member home to bring the goodies bag, so that we can go over them. But as you can imagine, that takes a lot of time. Thank you for the silver awards. I shall treasure them forever. Story 17. I'm a veterinarian, but I'm sure some doctors will have come across this too. Amputated limbs do not grow back. I've had far too many people asking how long it will take for their pet's amputated limb to grow back. So I'm assuming a few doctors out there will have had patients asking the same about their own missing limbs. Story 18. You often will feel normal even with high blood pressure. It's often found incidentally, so don't wait until it gives you symptoms you don't want to experience. To all those wondering how to figure out if it's asymptomatic, get checked at least once a year if you're over 35 years old. There's no other way. Thank you for the silver and gold, kind strangers. Story 19. You only get one body. The way you treat it has a significantly higher impact on how your health will end up in a decade than what sort of interventions we can give you. You really should treat your body like a temple. So saying you all. If you want, treat it like a family heirloom, bonsai, or your favorite china. The original question is asking what I wished more people knew about their body. I answered this by saying I wish they would do more self-care. Advice that is easier said than done. This means keeping up with mental and physical health, eating well, exercising, and not utilizing tobacco, nicotine, drinking to excess, or other substances. I am in no way advocating for avoiding the use of prescribed medicines or advice given to you by your own primary care provider. Story 20. The immune system is an incredibly complex and nuanced organization of cells that communicates readily to destroy anything deemed hostile within the body. This helps explain why vaccines are supposed to work, why allergies come and go, and why transfusions and transplants are hard to successfully pull off. A lot of people are asking how allergies work, so here is a brief explanation using pollen allergic rhinitis as an example. Your immune system senses pollen in the body. It doesn't appear to be one of your cells, so the B cell collects samples of it, relays it to a helper T cell, which in turn helps specialize the B cell to become one of two cells, effector and memory cells. Effectors mass produce antibodies, while memory cells are reserved for future invasions. This is why initial exposure to a new substance may not necessarily trigger allergic responses because the immune system is still acclimating to a foreign particle. Antibodies flood the pollen particles and signal for basophils and mast cells to release histamine, the hormone responsible for inflammatory responses. This is where the runny noses and sneezing come into play, and for more severe allergies, anaphylactic shock. Allergies may fade out over time for several reasons. When exposed to a non-threatening level of an allergen for a long enough time, the body decides that it's not really a threat anymore. Furthermore, as people age, the immune system weakens, making it harder to detect and overreact to allergies.